What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Broken Man Show. I'm here with the boys, and it's Spook Your Mama season, you guys, so we're going to keep it traditional. We're about to share with y'all our most paranormal experience we've ever witnessed, or something close to like the supernatural that we've ever stumbled across in our lifetime. Off with a couple of my stories, but I'm gonna tell one story and then I'm pass it around past the what was it you used to do in class?
Popcorn.
Yeah, I'm gonna popcorn y'all. Popcorn y'all, and y'all gonna read out loud y'all stories. But yeah, my story, I think it was when I was first. I think it was either middle school or high school. I was sleeping and I was woken up by a disturbance, and at the time my dad, he was fixing up a door, and I'm having a hard time. I think I've told this story before on the channel, but he was fixing up the door, like he was using the drill to like drill on the like bits, like the door handles and shit. Mm-hmm. And you know that makes like not loud noise, like I'm like, all right. But I woke up and I'm like, well, hold up. It's like 3 a.m. Why the hell is he working on the door right now? So I go out. I'll be like, oh, he probably needs some help or something. And it's completely dark. The living room's dark. The kitchen's dark. So I'm like, what the hell? I walk to my kitchen because that's where I hear the noise. And I turn, and it's the blender. It got turned on for some reason. It was like on, the top was off, or it might have been on. But yeah, it was just completely on, and I was so sleepy that I didn't even really pay mind to it. And I went, next time I saw my dad, I mentioned it to him, and he was like, nah, I didn't turn it on. And like, I asked my mom, she's like, nah. I asked my sister, and she was like, had no clue. And it just got me in awe. Like, I was in complete shock, but I didn't really pay no mind to it. There probably is a ghost in my house, but
well, that's
it's like, what the hell?
I don't think that you told that on the channel, but when you said something like, at first I was like, this kind of sounds familiar. You've told me this story before, I know, because when you said something about the blender, that was like a light bulb in my head. I was like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about this story. Actually.
Yeah, like my dad was like, oh, there's like a ghost in here. Like joking, and I'm like, bro, this is like serious shit. Like none of y'all turn this on. Like my mom always like unplugs it whenever she uses it. So this was like so weird to me.
Yeah.
Alright, popcorn read. Popcorn on y'all. So I don't know whichever one y'all want to go next.
You want me to go? So mine is actually more recent as well. This is a story that I haven't told y'all. Actually mine can be like a twofer, because this has happened twice in the house now that I know of. Once it's happened to me, and once it happened to my mom. So my mom had, I'll say hers first, or no, yeah, I'll say hers first. So this is like a few years ago, where she was just in the house and everything like that, and like she was I think she was cleaning up around the house, she was washing dishes, she was doing something, and she said that she had heard someone say mama, very clearly, like, because that's what I say to my mom. I'm like mama, like, can you come do this or do that, or like ma, something like that. And so like she clearly heard someone like yell that, and like we live in a trailer, it's like a decently small trailer, heard someone yell that. I was not home, like there was nobody else that was in the house, and she tells me, she's like, she very distinctly hears that, and I don't really think much of it. I'm like, yeah, it's probably just hearing things, until it happened to me. And this happened recently, where it was like I heard my name get called, or like it sounded like I heard like someone talking or something, and then I heard like my name get called. Not like yelled, like how she like heard someone like yell mama or whatever. I heard someone that it just sounded like someone was like Cameron, and like it actually was like kind of chilling. And the thing that like messes with me about that, like I'm kind of iffy on like if ghosts are real or not. My dad passed away in the house, and the area that it was coming from was the bedroom that he had passed away from. So that's the reason why it was kind of like a little bit weird. And also we have he's in a box in like as his ashes, like an urn. He's in a box in the living room, and so like the living room like connects to the bedroom, and I'm standing like in the kitchen, and like that's where like I hear like my name get called, and I'm just like, what's going on? Because my mom was like not home at the time, so it was really kind of freaky.
Are you sure you didn't have the movie Mama, released in 2015, on for ambient noise?
No, I'm sure that wasn't on.
Are you sure?
And how would that explain mine?
Huh?
How would that explain mine too? Because I clearly heard like my name get called. So.
You sure? Wait.
You sure you ain't capping?
You sure the main character in the movie Mama that was released in 2015 wasn't called Cameron?
Yeah. I've had instances before where it's like it sounds like someone is when I'm coming into my house, and it sounds like someone is like talking or something like that on the other side of the door. And I'll come in and there's nothing, which is like really creepy. So I don't know. This is like y'all might think I'm like full of shit or whatever, but like you would have to like be there to experience it. But then it's one of those things where it's like it will probably never happen again in a million years, or just because you're there, it's not gonna happen or something like that.
Well, I'm like, hey, we just completely did a video that was like we're just bullshitting on like ghost hunters and shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if like we're telling this is like real ass stuff that's happened to us.
Yeah.
Well, I know what you're talking about. When I'm going to sleep, I have that happen to me a lot. Like, I don't know what it is. It's something in like, everybody has it or is going to have it at one point where you're going to hear your name get called, like, it's going to sound like a real person's next to you, and it's going to be like, for real. And it's like, it scares the shit out of me, bro, but after a while, I just get used to it, bro. Like, when I'm falling asleep, I'll just hear, Jake. And instantly,
No, I have not had that happen to me.
I
bro.
swear.
I haven't had it when I'm falling asleep. I've had it like fully awake, like I'm aware, like
Look it
middle
up.
of the day. Like yeah.
It's a for real thing. Like every human, it's
If,
like
if,
your
if
brain.
I find it, I'll put it on the screen and
Your
we'll
brain,
see
the
it.
way it recognizes audio and stuff, it happens to a lot of people when they're falling asleep because like I forget the explanation for it, but it's like just no sound causes your brain to just instantly jump to that and want to hear sound or something like that. But if Cam can pop it up on the screen, it'd be like a simple explanation.
Is it only names or is it also sound?
It could be anything.
Oh, yeah, because that happens to me at work. I'll be in the walk-in cooler, and every time when I'm in there, I hear like an alarm on the phone ring, meaning that I got to go pick it up. And then I walk out of it and it's dead silent.
Some people have what's called exploding head syndrome. So like when they're falling asleep, I'm pretty sure like all they can hear is like loud noises. They'll either hear exploding, like a full-on explosion.
I don't have that, but something I do have had several times is like right when I'm getting ready to like finally go to sleep, it feels like my head is like spinning, and it's like.
Have you ever had that where it's like you feel like you're falling down an endless hole, like a black pit, and you're just falling?
Yeah, it's like it's not even like you're like really tired or anything like that. Like it's like you're literally like just going to sleep normally, and it's like my brain just decides to get like really overactive out of nowhere. I don't really know what that's about, but it's like I start like thinking about a lot of stuff. I hear like my own thoughts and things go, and it just feels like my head is just like spinning like from corner to corner. I'm like that's like a really weird thing. If that I haven't looked it up, but if it's exploding head syndrome, I might have to look that up too.
Another thing that is kind of scary, like that anybody can experience this, and you won't know what the hell is happening to you. So, this dude named Drifter, he's a famous YouTuber. He, for all his life, swore to God that he's seen demons. He's seen full-on apparitions standing in front of him. It'd be like down the hallway. He'll see, like we saw in those videos, like someone peek around the corner and then peek back, and then he's like swearing to God to his family they all think he's capping. So he goes to the doctor, and he finally, after years, like 30 years, finds out that he has a vitamin deficiency that's rare, and it's a genetic vitamin deficiency that causes his mind like the where like you recognize like people and things like that and shapes. It was like slowly deteriorating. So he was just like his life was becoming more and more hell of just seeing demons, like full on demons. So
I remember you told me about that before. I don't know. Did you ever? I don't know if you remember him telling you, or if he ever told you. Because this was like on PKA.
Yeah.
They had him up there.
It's scary to think, like, you know, even like you'll think it's like something supernatural because it's been so popularized by the media, but it's like really like you having a bad vitamin deficiency and you should go to the doctor about it. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm just seeing ghosts, my house is haunted. Turns out like you die of a fucking like B12 deficiency.
Yeah.
So, getting into my story, everybody says that they grew up in a haunted house. I don't know, bro. Like, I lived in a for real haunted house. Like, it was, like, had a graveyard behind it. It's been around since, like, it's been around since, like, the Civil War. Multiple people have died in this house ranging from natural causes to suicide. And so, like, I would always, like, as a kid, I would be scared because my mom would, like, watch the ghost shows. And I would just sit down with her and watch them as, like, a real young kid, like a 3 to 4-year-old kid. Mm-hmm. And that's also how I hated the beach, because I would watch Jaws at that age. Mm-hmm. But every night I would come in there and tell my parents, like, oh, hey, I see a shape into the shadows. And I'd just be scared of shit, like a scared little kid. But one night, I remember it wasn't just a shadow. I was just laying there, and I was really scared, because I was always, like, scared of the dark. And we had these overhanging cabinets. It was like kind of a wall like that. I don't know if y'all can see where y'all can, where the closet is. But instead of a closet, it was just a flat wall, and then at the top of it, 2 cabinets open up where it's like a little space where you put quilts and stuff. All of a sudden, that swings open, slams the wall open like a big slam. I couldn't have reached it, so I couldn't even open it. And then I go and tell my mom and dad this, and I'm like, hey, this cabinet just swung open, because I'm like 5 at the time. And they're like, yeah, no way. They walk in there and the cabinet's like wide open, and there's no way I could reach up there and get it. And I seen in their face that they were scared, or they weren't scared, but they were like thinking for a second, how did this kid get this like cabinet open? Mm-hmm. And that's how I knew that it was like actually something paranormal. But that's the only thing I really ever had happen to me that I can say is like, yeah, bro, I can't explain that. It has to be a ghost, because I always put it as a ghost, but now I think about it, and it could have been something else, but best explanation.
Yeah. I'm trying to even, like, think about possible things that could happen.
The only possibility that it could be is if my mom closed a cat, because we used to have, like, 3 or 4 cats at the house. If she would have closed one in there before I was going to bed and put it into the quilt cabinet, but that would be, like, why would the cat just jump out right at a random time at the middle of the night?
Yeah, I feel like you probably would have heard something beforehand, too. I don't know. That is kind of creepy, though.
I had like the almost same experience that happened to me, which I guess leads into my next story. This was at a church. Like, my parents would go to church like twice every week plus mass on Sundays, so I was there like almost every day. And they do like classes. The adults would be in like one room, and like all of the kids, we all hang out either on one room, another room, or we hang out in the hallway, cause it was also like a high school, and like they had lockers and shit. We just chilled there, and like in the other classroom they had like markers and like games and shit. But we would just hang out in the hallway, and like right by like down the hallway is like I guess what you call it is the lobby for like the church, and the doors for the church are like right there. And this night we were just hearing like the doors open, because usually like the nuns or like the helpers will like be going in and out. Plus there were like other groups like doing their own kind of stuff, and we like we were just listening to it, and one of my friends, he heard it, and then we looked at it, we saw it open and like nobody walked out of it, and we just got so scared. We're like, whoa, what the hell? Like this happened like around the same age like that my other story happened. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? And like Al came out an adult, and like we were telling him like how like we just saw this and that, and then he saw it, because it happened twice, and we seen it, and we're like, oh, bro, heck no. We're like, we were just waiting for mom and parents to like come out so we just leave, and like, yeah, that's basically the shit that happened to me.
I've had another story, something that didn't happen to me, but something that happened to my older sister. This is, I think, I don't know exactly how old I was. I know I was out of diapers, but it was something. So in my sister's room, she had this chest of drawers for her clothes and stuff like that, and on top of it was this radio. And it was like, it had like the big speakers. There was like, you could put like the CD on top. You had even, it was like cassette tapes. You'd have like track 1 and track 2 on each side. And in order to be able to turn this this radio up, you had to turn the knob. Like it was like one of those like big like dials that you had to like turn. And you know, some of them you get like a press button, but like this is basically like what you'd have like in like a car to be able to like turn it up. And it's, you know, it's got like the little triangle on it, so it'll tell you like how loud the volume's getting like on this line. And so like my sister's like in her room and everything like that. It's got like the door shut. She's in there listening to music and stuff, and it's very very like low volume so that it's not bothering anybody else in the house. And she's like brushing her hair, just getting ready to like whatever she's getting ready to go do. And she hears like the thing starts to get like a little bit louder, and like she's thinking like maybe it's just the song kind of got like a little bit loud. And then like she's like in the middle of like brushing her hair as like she turns and like looks, and she can see the actual dial itself is starting to turn up, and the music's getting really really loud. And it got to a point where it was like not like make your ears bleed type loud, but like it was loud enough to be like damn, like you need to turn that shit down. And so she starts like yelling and freaking out, trying to get my mom to come in there. And have no, I mean, that it's not like it's like really all that scary or anything like that, except for the fact that like you could physically see it getting turned up, and no one was touching it, nobody else was in the room or anything. It could have just been a faulty radio. Who knows? But like it would have been one thing if it was turning up, but the fact that it was turning up and the dial was actually moving, like she saw like that little triangle was like going up and stuff. So
that's happened to me before. It was just me riding my mom around doing errands and stuff. We just be riding and like it's just turning on. I just look around. Is it getting loud to you? I'm like, yeah. And I just turn down.
I don't know. That's my sister makes it seem like really scary and stuff like that, because like she had like tears in her eye, like freaking out or anything. So
I used to have to go to sleep with the radio on. I still need like some white noise on for me to go to sleep. And for me, it used to be the radio. And what you always used to scare me was the damn National Weather Service alarm, and it still does. I hate it when it like wake me up at 3 a.m. I just be scared of shit. Like, no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
For me, like I got this thing where it's like I'm not afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of like what could be in the dark that I can't see, I guess. And usually if there's like someone in there with me, like a friend or something.
Get a nightlight.
Well, yeah, but the other thing is now though, like I'm actually not as scared of the dark, I guess, as much. Mainly just because like I know basically what's in my room, and there's only one way into my room, one way out of my room type thing. But y'all might think I'm insane for this, because I don't know if y'all do this. I know Jake does it. I don't know if Chris does it or not. But I actually sleep with my door open now, which is like
I do that.
Like I used to not do that. Like I was like freaked out because I have like this really long hallway, and I remember it was one time where like there was something that happened in my room to where like I couldn't like sleep in there. I had to like sleep on the couch or something, or maybe it was like my nephews that came over. There's this movie called VHS 2, where in the movie there's this guy who he runs up and like he like breathes really heavily. He's like covered in blood, and then like he blows up or whatever. And spoiler, by the way, I just realized that. But then like he's like up on the, you see like this guy, he like falls back and like from the explosion where this guy just blew up, and then on the ceiling there's like something that like crawls really fast across the ceiling. And I just remember the way that I would be like faced on my couch, it's like it would like the long hallway would be behind me, and so I would actually like sleep with a knife under my couch just because I was like thinking like I was gonna like open up my eyes and see something crawling like on the ceiling from the long hallway. That used to freak me out.
I'm not too scared of the dark. I'm someone like I grew up like really scared of the dark. Like I was like just super scared of like nothing, and then I realized there's nothing in the dark. It's like I would go camping by myself in the woods, and I would realize, you know, you hear the common like, I don't know if y'all have ever went out camping in the woods, but you'll be sitting there and you'll be laying down and you just hear something walking in leaves, because you can't sneak up on anything in the woods. Like you're walking on dead leaves, especially during some like
the only way you can sneak up on somebody is if the wind happens to be blowing to mask the sound that you're making.
Not even really that, because even most of the time, like if you're in the woods, like usually people that like even like your must, your like shampoo, anything like that is unnatural. If the wind blows towards me, I can even smell you in the woods like coming towards me, and like you'll hear like just a footstep walking. And one day I was like working in the woods like cutting wood, and I hear that. I hear like something like, because imagine a square field surrounded all by woods, and all the woods go out for I'd say about half a mile in some directions and maybe a few 100 feet in other directions. And then one of the half a mile directions, I hear like something like kind of in the woods, and it sounds like light, like a human, or because I know it sounds stupid to say, but a human and a bird kind of sound the same walking in the woods if they're walking like kind of light. So I'm like, that might be a bird, and I go back to working, and my headphones keep on picking it up because I have like surround sound headphones where it's like you talk to me, I can hear it over like the chainsaw or the woodcutter. I can hear that, and I keep on hearing like the leaves like stuttered. So I go over there, I cut off the woodcutter, go look into the woods, and I'm swearing to God that I hear this noise. My dad comes out there, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to look crazy. I'm gonna just go back to working. He leaves eventually, and I keep on hearing this noise. Now it's like 5 o'clock, so I go walking around in the woods, and I'm like, you know, there's got to be something out here, maybe a deer. I might like get to see like a buck or something if it's on my property. I'm walking in the woods, and then I hear something walking behind me. And I turn around and I'm like, bruh, what the hell? And I'm like sketching out at this point. And I walk all the way behind me to make sure like, hey, I'm not being followed by like my dad or something like that, or like somebody on the property, because it does border somebody else's property. So commonly in the woods you could have like a hunter walk up to you like kind of quiet and be like, hey man, like I'm hunting, can you like, you know, keep it pushing? Or like even you'll be walking in the woods and you look up and there's just somebody in a tree with a gun just staring at you waiting for you to pass because you're out there hunting. You know, so it's like I don't want to have that encounter, but I'm praying to God that it's like not like, you know, an animal like a black bear I think we have around here that's like fucking about to attack me because it thinks I'm
specifically that area too, because I remember growing up that was like there was a lot of bear like going across the road and stuff like that.
So I'm walking back like at this point I'm like just making sure nothing's kind of following me, and then I hear something behind me at that point. So it's either circled me or like now behind me, or it's just like a bird that keeps on landing in the thing and it's just ruffling a bunch of leaves. So I get the hell out of there, and I even have a gun on me. I'm like, yeah man, I'm gonna just dip because I don't want to get either shot by a hunter or just ripped up by a black bear. But that was pretty scary thinking about like, you know, in the dark.
Yeah.
Or the segued from in the dark because of the fucking camping. But that is real shit. If y'all ever go camping, you'll just be laying there and you just hear fucking leaves rustle.
Well, I don't remember if you talked about that in an episode or if you just talked about that in general, but I remember it was something along the lines where you were like, you were talking about like going camping, and it's like, you usually when like, if you hear that shit like on the first day, like you're out there for like a week or two. So it's like, if you hear that on the first day, you're just going to have to accept the fact that, like, now something is out there with you.
You either got to go find what it is or accept the fact. But you also got to know that there is stuff out there with you. So I think that's what really got me on Scared of the Dark, is like realizing like, hey man, like in the dark right now, I can get attacked by a coyote or a ghost could come and spook me. You know?
Well, so the funny thing for me is that like I'm literally like every white guy in a horror movie, where it's like you could be outside, and if we were to hear, even inside, I've done it before. Like me and Jake have heard something, and then like instead of being like, yo, what the hell is that? It's like we're like, I'm going to grab some kind of long phallic object that I can swing, and I'm like, yeah, let's go check this out. And then people are like, you're gonna die. Like I ain't going to do that. But that's the type of person that I am, where like I'll go and check shit out. So
yeah, I remember we were in the mountains one day, and like it's not really even like checking something out. It's more or less like adventuring, and like a lot of people won't go like past something, and we see a bunch of barbed wire, and it's like obviously we're already on private property, and they're like, yeah, man, I don't know if we should explore that way. I'm already halfway under the barbed wire. I'm like, wait, we aren't going?
I don't know. Do you have any more stories?
No.
I have more stories, but I think we're gonna wrap it up to have it be a shorter episode. Just let us know. I feel like I have more stories. Maybe not even like full on scary stories, but just like stuff that's like happened that seems kind of off putting. And maybe that'll be in another video, either before October ends or just on the channel in general. You'll just have to be able to see.
If you have an experience, you can even write it in the comments, and we will react to it on the channel.
Yeah.
Like
or if you have any footage, you can send it to TheBrokenMaskShow@gmail.com.
We'll put it in the description.
But yeah, be on the lookout for any future videos that we have, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight. Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul,